Hey, we're on reading 14. Roxy, she's kind of wondering what Ivan is up to. What is his plan? Why is he making all those paintings? And is it a way to save Ruby? That's what Roxy's wondering in her sleepy little eyes. Yeah, right? Yeah, we'll find out because we're in reading 14. Reading 14, subtitle starts out, Going Nowhere. I watch Ruby plod around the ring in endless circles, going, nowhere. More visitors have been coming, but not many. Max says Ruby's not picking up the slack after all. He says he's cutting back on her food. He says he's turning off the heat at night to save money. Ruby looks thinner to me, more wrinkled than Stella ever was. Do you think Ruby's eating enough? I asked Bob. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, though. You're sure as heck painting enough. Bob wrinkles his nose. The stench is unbelievable, and I found yellow paint in my tail this morning. Bob isn't happy about my night painting. He says it's unnatural. Now, while I work at my art, Bob sleeps on Not Tag. He claims he prefers her because she doesn't snore. He says her belly doesn't rise and fall and make him seasick. What is this plan of yours anyway? Bob asks. If you explained it to me, I could help out. He gnaws at his tail. Maybe I could come up with something that doesn't involve, paint. I can't explain it, I tell him. It's an idea in my head, but I can't get it right. And anyway, I'm almost out of supplies. I should have known I wouldn't have enough. I kick it in my tire swing. It's spattered with drops of blue paint. It's a stupid idea. I doubt that, Bob says. Smelly? Yes. Stupid? Yeah, never. Next chapter is called Bad Guys. Most of the day I doze. Late in the afternoon, Mac approaches. Bob slips under Not Tag. He prefers to keep a low profile around Mac. Mac's gaze falls on my pool. A corner of one of my paintings is visible. What's that, big guy? He asks. I calmly eat an orange, ignoring him, but my heart is racing. Mac kicks at my plastic pool, and underneath it are all the paintings. Mac yanks on a piece of paper. It slips out easily, and he doesn't seem to notice the other paintings. The page is striped with green, which is what happens when blue paint and yellow paint get together. It's supposed to be a patch of grass. Not bad. Where'd you get that paint anyway? George's kid? He considers. I bet I could get 30 for this picture, maybe even 40. Mac turns on my TV. It's a Western. There's a human with a big hat and a small gun. He has a shiny star pinned to his chest. That means he's the sheriff and he'll be getting rid of all the bad guys. That's where bad guys got to be in the subtitle. If this sells quick, I'm getting you more of that paint, buddy, Mac says. He walks away with my painting, Ruby's painting. For a moment, I imagine that I feel like I'd be the sheriff. The next subtitle is called Ad. Good news, huh? Bob says when Mac's out of earshot. Looks like maybe we'll be getting some more supplies. I don't want to paint for Mac, I say. I'm painting for Ruby. You can paint for both, Mac says. You're an artist after all. While I watch the movie, I try to come up with new hiding places for my paintings. Maybe, I think, I could fold them once they're dry and stuff them into Not Tag. It's a long movie. At the end, the sheriff marries the woman who owns the saloon, which is a watering hole for humans, not horses. It's been a long time since I've seen a Western that was also a romance. I liked that movie, I say to Bob. Too many horses, not enough dogs, he comments. An ad comes on. I don't understand ads. They're not like Westerns where you know who the bad guy's supposed to be. And they're hardly ever romantic unless the man and woman are brushing their teeth before they face lick. I watch an ad for underarm deodorant. How do you know who's who if they don't smell? I ask Bob. Humans reek, Bob replies. They just don't notice it because they have incompetent noses. Another ad comes on. I see children and their parents buying tickets just like tickets Mac sells. They laugh, enjoy their ice cream cones as they walk down the path. They pause to watch two sleepy-eyed cats, huge and striped, dozing on the long grass. Tigers I know because I saw them on a nature show once. Words flash on the screen, accompanied by a drawing of a red giraffe. The giraffe vanishes, and I see a human family staring at another kind of family. Elephants, old and young. They're surrounded by rocks and trees and grass and room to wander. It's a wild cage, a zoo. I see where it begins and where it ends. The wall that says you are this, and that we are that, and this is how it will always be. It's not a perfect place. Even in just a few fleeting seconds on my TV screen, I can see that. A perfect place would not need walls. But it's the place I need. I gaze at the elephants, and then I look over at Ruby, small and alone. And before the ad ends, I try to remember every last detail. Rocks, trees, tails, trunks. It's the picture I need to paint. What's he thinking? Next subtitle is Imagining. It's different now when I paint. I'm not painting what I see in front of me, a banana, an apple. I'm painting what I see in my head, things that don't exist, at least not yet. Wow, the next subtitle is called Not Tag. I pull out Not Tag's stuffing. Carefully, I fill her with my paintings, hiding them so Mac won't see them. She's larger, bigger than Bob, but I still have to crumple a few of them. Bob tries to settle on her for a nap. You killed her, he complains. I had to, I say. I miss your stomach, Bob admits. It's so spacious. When Julia arrives, she notices that I've used up my paints and paper. Wow, Julia shakes her head. You are a serious artist, Ivan. Next subtitle is called One More Thing. My finger painting had sold for $40 with a frame. Mac is happy. He brings me a huge pile of paper and big buckets of paint. Get to work, he says. I paint for Mac during the day and Ruby at night. I nap when I can. But my nighttime picture isn't quite right. It's big, that's for sure. And when I place all the pieces on the floor of the cage side by side, the cement is almost completely covered. But something is still missing. Bob says I'm crazy. There's Ruby, he says, pointing with his nose, and there's the zoo. There's the other elephants. What's wrong with it? Needs one more thing, I say. Bob groans. You're a temperamental artist. What could be missing? I stare at the huge expanse of colors and shapes. I don't know how to explain to Bob that it isn't done yet. I'll just have to wait, I say at last. Something will come to me, and then I'll know my painting is finally ready. Next subtitle is called The 7 O'Clock Show. During the last show of the day, Ruby seems tired. And when she stumbles, Mac reaches for the claw stick. I tense, waiting for her to strike back. Ruby doesn't even flinch. She just keeps plodding along, and after a while, Snickers jumps onto her back. The next subtitle is called 12. I lie in my cage with Bob on my stomach. We're watching Julia do her homework. She doesn't seem to be enjoying it. I can tell because she's sighing more than usual. Again, for the 100th time, or maybe the 1000th, I wonder what's missing from my painting. And for the 100th time, or maybe the 1000th, I don't have an answer. Dad, Julia says as George passes by with a mop, can I ask you a question? May I, George corrects. Ask anyway. Julia glances down at a piece of paper. What's the difference between the word spelled Principal and the one that's spelled Princeple? Well, the first one is the head of the school, like Mrs. Garcia. The second one is a belief that helps you know what's right or wrong. He smiles. For example, it's against my principles to do my daughter's homework for her. Julia groans. If I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, why do I need to know how to spell? With a laugh, George heads off. Poor Julia, I think. Gorillas get by just fine without learning how to spell. All those endless letters, those sticks and circles and zigzags, filling up books and magazines and billboards and candy wrappers. Words. Humans love their words. I leap up. Bob goes flying straight into my pool. Poor Bob. A word. You know how I feel about wet feet, Bob yells. He scrambles out of the water, shaking his foot in dismay. I look out my window at the billboard. I can still hear Mac's voice in my head. Come to the exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, home of the one and only Ivan, mighty Silverback. I count to 12, and then I count again, just to make sure. The next subtitle is called H. I lay out 16 pieces of poster board, 4 down, 4 across, a perfect square. What are you up to? Bob demands. I'm guessing it doesn't involve sleep. It has to do with the billboard. That sign's a monstrosity, particularly since I'm not featured. I grab my bucket of red paint. You're not on the billboard because you're not in the show, I point out. Technically, I don't even live here, Bob says with a sniff. I'm homeless by choice. I know, I'm just saying. I studied the billboard. Then I made 2 fat lines like broom handles. Another fat line connects them. I stand back. What do you think? And it says this. It's the letter H. What is it? No, wait, let me guess. A ladder? Not a ladder, I say, a letter. At least I think that's what they're called. I can make 3 more. Bob cuddles up to not tag. Why, he asks, yawning. Because then I'll have a word, a very important word. I dip my fingers into the paint. What word? Bob asks. Wow, listen to this. Home. Bob closes his eyes. That's not so important, he says quietly. Woo! So that is the end of reading 14. So we'll see what happens next time. See you later.